I thought it was just an outstanding college basketball game. Mac Court, I'm sure, showed extremely well on national TV. And what a great day for the University of Oregon to have an opportunity to knock off the #1 team in the country. And they are every bit deserving of that #1 ranking. They went to the national championship game last year. They've held that #1 spot for several weeks right now. And I've said it before, to me, they're one of the hardest working teams, if not the hardest working team in college basketball. The challenge for us in this game was to work with them. And we've talked from SC on about maybe we let a game get away, partly because maybe that didn't send them out of that locker room with enough fire or whatever it was, but we left the game on the floor, and we wanted to make sure all of that conditioning that we went through this past summer really did us, I think, a lot of good in this game. And we just talked about let's work with them. The zone was outstanding for us. We pressed them a little bit. We manned them, trying to keep them off balance. But what a terrific job by this basketball team and their composure in the first half, offensively and defensively, and obviously down the stretch of the game.
Ernie, a couple of guys mentioned there was a concerted effort to pass up the three a little bit early on and take it to the paint.
Well, you know, we spent a lot of time shooting the basketball, and when we're on, we're a terrific shooting basketball team, but this is not a team that's been on a lot. And we talked about, you know, if Bryce takes 2 bad threes, Champ takes 2 bad threes, Marty takes 2, TP takes 2, Aaron Brooks takes 2, you're at 11, 12 bad threes now, and UCLA they feast off your bad shots. And we talked about let's play like we play at Georgetown. We're a great team off the dribble. Everybody fears this basketball team, and we can spread them out and put those guards on the floor with everybody being able to shoot the three and just attack them. And I thought it looked a lot like the Georgetown game where they had a hard time guarding that quickness on the floor. And when they did, we made excellent decisions in finding people. We're an excellent shooting team when we take good shots. And I thought we got into a nice rhythm tonight of shooting the ball in that first half.
Coach, you and this team have been through so much adversity the last couple of years. How satisfying, how meaningful is this game for you?
You know, this team, for young men to go through what they've gone through, for me, it's okay. I'm an old man. But I think they will learn later on in their lives the toughness that they've developed. And sometimes I think when you go through so much adversity in your life, you either come up or you're going to go down. And to their credit, they never wavered. They've stuck together. They have united even stronger. And it was something to see them over in the Bahamas, how much growth took place. And it told us then that if this team can continue to have success, that all of that adversity would strengthen them down the stretch. And they've turned the corner in that area, even though there's a lot of basketball left to go. But my heart's out to them because they've been through a lot, and they really have. And to their credit, they have stuck in there with us, and I appreciate them for doing that, and they've stuck in there with each other as well, too.
Are you encouraged, despite some of the turnovers, you still have a lot of improvement? You can still improve and you probably get better the rest of the season.
I think the thing that is encouraging about this basketball team, that UCLA is at full strength, and they went through a lot last year with a lot of their injuries and things, and they did a nice job of making a nice run. Realize, you know, and Chamberlain Oguchi is not at full strength yet. He still is experiencing some things with his ankle that limits him a little bit, which is why we used Churchill quite a bit tonight when we thought he was breaking down a little bit on the floor. Tawan Porter is still not back on his game, and he's a freshman still making the adjustment to Pac-10 play. Those are two guys with outstanding growth potential that's still there. Jovan Catron still not on his game because he was set back so far with the injuries. And then you got your best player sitting on the bench, not even able to play right now. There's a lot of growth potential left in this team, and they're pretty focused that they're not going to get too far ahead of themselves, and we're going to continue to push them. We're going to continue to work, and the key for us to get better is just to get healthy right now because they work hard enough, we shoot it well enough, they're focused enough, their defense is good enough. We just need to get healthy, and our injuries are at the wing spots where it means so much for our team to get up the line and play defense, to sub them, to speed, to shoot, to skill. Everything's at the perimeter, and those three perimeter guys, when they get healthy, we got a chance to be, I think, a really good basketball team, and we're on our way towards that now.
How close is Malik?
We made the decision to hold him out of this game and thinking that, listening to my trainers and doctors, that he will be with us for next week. I thought this game was going to be too much of a intensity-filled game for him to get out there because he has a competitive nature in him that he would want to battle. And it wasn't the game to put him in. And we made a decision to hold him off, and we did a good job of managing the game without him. And hopefully we need Malik. he just brings another dimension with his rebounding, his passing, his shooting, his ability to make plays. He just makes us so much better, as evident in what he did in the Georgetown game and even the Nebraska game. So hopefully we'll have him back by next week.
Ernie, which way after UCLA tied the game with 25 seconds to go, whether to time out or not, or what to do there?
Well, you know, in that situation, this team has to learn how to grow, and it's no different than the other night. I think it was 13 seconds to go. They needed to play through some games and figure some things out on their own. And I thought the other night, Aaron Brooks did a good job of finding Marty. Nice job of shot faking and driving into the lane. He had a great decision to either give Champ a three, who was wide open on the wing, or go shoot a layup. He made the decision to shoot the layup, and the charge foul was called. But it was decision making on their part. And the same thing in this game. You know, they do such a good job defensively. We felt like we had them rattled a little bit and off guard. I hate that Bryce shot that three in the corner. I'd like to take a little bit more time down, and we talked about that in the locker room. But Aaron Brooks came back and hit a big bucket. We always want to keep the pressure on teams all the way through to that last possession or two, and I thought we did a good job of doing that.
Was there any hangover for Aaron Brooks after missing that free throw against USC? And then can you just talk about, looks like he's making great decisions with basketball.
There was no hangover for Aaron Brooks. There was a big-time hangover for Coach Kent. And I'm not talking about a drinking hangover. I felt like a game we just let get away. And it took me until game time today to get past that. It was still bothering me, having looked at that game 2 or 3 times right now. Aaron Brooks, his success, it's due to a couple of things. Just maturing and growing up as an individual, and Tawan Porter. And what Tawan Porter has done is freed him up to play the off guard. He takes the pressure off of him from bringing the ball down the floor, getting us in the offense, making the decisions. It takes the pressure off from him from being on point of attack on defense. He can just run the floor and have a lot of freedom just to play now. And that's, if we can keep him in that spot, he is really, really good, which is why when Tawan got hurt, we struggled a little bit. Now here he comes back. We're starting to get our rhythm. We made the decision to go with the small lineup yesterday. Let's get back to who we are. We are a small team that's going to speed, spread, and we feel like we can defend people. Rebounding was a problem tonight, but as it turned out, we did a pretty good job, I thought, and Aaron had another fabulous game. So I think the fact that Tawan is here, realize with Aaron, he's the only guy in our program over the course of the last 2-3 years that really hasn't had a really good sub. I mean, Brandon Lincoln did a good job, but Tawan is a pure point guard. And Aaron is the only guy we had to keep on the floor 38 minutes, 40 minutes. Everybody else had rotations and substitutions. Now we're able to do that with him. And to his credit, he doesn't need to come out of the game. Just get off the ball. It gives him an opportunity to rest.
We did have him out, though, for about 5 minutes. There was worn.
He was worn a little bit, and that has to do with Thursday night's ball game. And we sat him down, and we wanted to put him back after about 3 minutes. He says, "No, I'm not ready." So we let him sit there for a while, and he did a nice job of telling us. I think he sat down for 4.5 minutes, and he said, "I'm ready to go," and we put him back into the game for Javon.
When the game ended, fans were coming onto the court, celebrating, it was really loud in there. I don't think you smiled. I don't think you pumped your fist. You were walking along the sidelines still. What were you thinking about?
I have aged quite a bit over the course of the last couple of years, and bad shoulders, and I emphasize with Pat Riley, bad knees and bad hips. So I can't jump up and down too much because I fear hurting myself, number one. But it was just a moment for me to embrace that building again. It's such a great building with so much history and tradition, and there's so much passion in that building. And to look up and see that crowd and see it full and hear that roar in there, we've been waiting a long time, this group, to get to that point. And I was so pleased for these people in Eugene, and more pleased for my basketball team to experience what that has felt like. I've been there as a player, and I've been there as a coach before. This is the first time this group has really had an opportunity to feel that roar and that buzz in that building.
As exciting and emotional as these 2 games have been, is there a sense with the cutthroat nature of this league, everybody kind of better get used to it, because most of these games are going to go right down to the wire?
Last year was the same way, and even trying to push the pace, us and UCLA and Arizona, Washington, and even Washington State, you're still seeing that the games are coming down close, because I believe it's the best conference in America. There are good teams in this conference, and good players, good young players in this conference, and some great coaching in this conference. So I don't think anybody really can walk into a game and say, I have a leg up on you. I just don't think that's the case. There's going to be a lot of close games, and we're hoping that we can continue to grow and continue to cause people matchup problems with our size and our speed, and as well as we can get our depth back to where it needs to be and everything. And hopefully that'll be an advantage for us over the course of a long run and everything. But there's 16 more games to go, and we got some more wins to get before we can get in any type of comfort zone and saying this has been a successful season.
Are you curious to see how your team plays on the road in these back 10 games?
They play well over at Oregon State, very well, and they are going to be a good road team. Again, Georgetown, we took 4 different travel parties to get back there. 4 different airplanes that took back in commercial, and we got in. Everybody got in lastly at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had a day to regroup and everything. But that's hard on big guys in our bodies, and they were fabulous on the road. I think once we get healthy, this is going to be a very good road team because of our style of play defensively. It keeps the pressure on you, and it puts the pressure on opposing teams on their home floor to make plays getting up the line. And in our style of play offensively, I'm going to continue to let them play with as much freedom and as confidence they want to shoot the ball and make plays, and hopefully that'll give them the confidence to really play well on the road.
So you were taking responsibility for the USC loss, and does that make it doubly satisfying for you personally?
You know, and no, it's not about being satisfied as it is about learning. You know, I don't know everything, and you can continue to learn and grow as well too. And I just felt like when they went out of the locker room, maybe I should have called them back and got after them a little bit, because I just didn't feel like they need to be. But yet at the same time, I need to kind of let them go a little bit. In hindsight, I should have called them back. So whether I want to take full responsibility, I'll take it because we didn't play great defense. That's where the game came down to, and everything else with that game.
Did you come into this expecting to play that zone?
Yes. Realized down there, I thought we cost them fits down there with the matchup zone in the first half, and we didn't make shots, and then they kind of got away from us in the second half. As long as we could stay in it and cause them to miss, we were fine. At halftime, we sure were up 10 points and had 10 offensive rebounds, not 10, they had 10 second chance points. And that's points that they got and points that they took away from us. And we felt like if we could keep them off the boards, that we could run them, because we felt like we were a quicker basketball team up and down the floor and quicker in the half court than they were defensively.